Towing is a career full of different situations, from vehicles missing a wheel to having none at all. A great operator learns to use all the tools in both his physical and mental toolbox. I'm here today to tell you about a new, exciting tool to add to your physical toolbox, the BakPul hitch. Like many people on the internet, I had my doubts about this product. Doubts I personally aired on this podcast. But the fine folks over at BakPul Hitch sent me one of their products to try, and boy, was I surprised. Its quality of build and ease of use made me eat my words real quick. So if you're a doubter like I was, head over to BakPulHitches.com for more information and to find out how to add another tool to your toolbox. That's BakPul Hitches.com. I've already opened my secondary lollipop. Wobbly pop.
Oh, wobbly pop.
Yes, you don't have to hear the sound of a can opening.
Oh, but that was badass. I think I even left that in the last podcast.
Did you?
I think so.
I
was saying something, and then before you answered, you went, and then it was like a witty remark. It worked pretty good.
It's good to know. I'm full of witty remarks in case you haven't noticed.
I wouldn't say what you say is witty.
Really? What would you say what I say is say?
Rude and insensitive.
I've been accused of that once or twice.
Time or two
or three or four. Half dozen or another.
Pretty much on a daily basis, I think.
Have you met my wife? I got big socks.
Big socks?
Yep.
Means your boots are expensive.
I need new boots, actually. It's time for some new boots. I like ducks.
You like ducks? That's a new one.
Ducks. This weather's been for the ducks. Bring on the snow. Enough of the rain. Bring on the snow. My paperwork was stacked.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, yeah. I was thrilled. What is sticky on this? Oh, it's that thing. Ew, it's sticky. Why is my keyboard sticky? Oops, I remember. Fuck, you're going to put that in, too. God damn it. Don't put that in.
Oh, I'll put that in.
Screw it. I had how often do you sit down to pee and you kept it in? So
that was a great time for me to start the introduction.
Oh, it happened as you were doing the introduction?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It was like, welcome to the Towing Life podcast where the ditches are deep and then the screens went black and I was like, oh shit.
Where the ditches are deep and the screens are black and I don't know if I'm recording or not anymore.
Yeah. But I've got the little bar thing there saying that it's pretty shitty out and the wind's blowing. So
if not,
welcome to the Towing Life podcast where the ditches are deep, the trucks are loaded.
Start again for fuck's sakes.
Welcome.
Hey everyone, I'm Brad from Calgary.
This is Sean from Cambridge, Ontario.
I'm Terry from Cornwall, Ontario.
Hey, this is Larry from Pitt Meadows, British Columbia, and you're listening to the Towing Life Podcast.
Welcome to the Towing Life Podcast, where the ditches are deep, the trucks are loaded, but the drivers are not. I'm your host, Toman G, and as usual, I'm joined by my co-host, friend, and former co-worker, the man with very strong opinions, Mr. Plain Guy.
What is going on, G? What is going on?
You know what they say, third time's the charm, and we got her done that time.
Absolutely. You would think 70 episodes into the Towing Life Podcast, we would have an intro down pat, and yet it still took us 3 tries to get it right.
Well, 4, including the time that my internet hit the bed.
So I know Elon Musk is busy now with Twitter, but can we please work on getting a sponsorship for some satellite internet, some Starlink, something? For the love of God, I am tired of this third world internet that my poor co-host has to deal with. I've said it before. I'm starting a GoFundMe. You can find us GoFundMe, the Towing Life Podcast, gneedsbetterinternet.com.
Do it.
If you can spell
all your money
that,
where your mouth is, Plain Guy.
I'll be the first to donate. I will donate $1.
Woohoo!
We only need about 1,000 people to match it.
Oh, I think we're going to need more than that for a Starlink satellite hovering over my house.
Really? Are they that expensive?
Probably.
Perfect. Well, before we get into the cost of Starlink, they're too deep into anything. If you have any subjects, questions, or concerns for the show, where can you find us? Biggest question we always get, where can I find you? Well, you can find us at www.towinglife.ca. It is the best place to go. A lot of the things that we're going to talk about to start off this episode are going to be found through the website. They will be links that are through there. I'll give you the direct link as well. You can also find us on Facebook at the Towing Life podcast. You can email us directly at thetowinglife@gmail.com. If you're watching over on YouTube, this is a great time. Do not forget to like, subscribe, review, leave a comment, hit a thumbs up. If you don't like us, hit the thumbs down twice. Let YouTube know what you really think about us, and they will be sure to never show our content or our faces on your screen. Again, YouTube has a wonderful way of doing that.
Hit the buttons, pretty much, when it comes down to hit the buttons. If there's a spot to leave a review, leave a review. Do what you can. Help us out. Help us help you.
Help us help you. That is what it is about here. Sharing is caring.
Care Bears.
And no, we've actually, Spotify, I don't know, I sent you some photos earlier. Spotify actually sent us this almost like a year in review. It was a very long and painful video to watch because it was like all these, like if you are epileptic, you would not want to watch these little Spotify wrap-up things. But they gave us all kinds of great stats. And one of them was that we were rated on Spotify as a 4.8 out of 5. I'm guessing it's out of 5. It could be out of 100.
I hope
if it's 4.8 out of 100, thank you for those that downplayed it. If it's 4.8 out of 5, thank you for everyone who's reviewed us on Spotify. It is great to see. It is great to have. We continue to try and bring entertainment, laughs, news, games.
And to be honest with you, we're not really aimed at being the Joe Rogan podcast. Like the amount of towers out there, small demographic to begin with, and the amount of towers that will actually listen to us two and Sarah when we don't scare her away is
True.
even smaller.
True. Absolutely. I mean, if you're in the towing industry and you're not listening, I don't know what you're doing. So let's get into a little bit of news. G, what do you say? A little bit of news. We've got a lot of big things happening. A lot of big things will continue to happen on the Towing Life podcast. The first one is our merchandise. If you haven't already, be sure to check out all the merch that we have available. I have been working tirelessly at adding new lines constantly. The shirt that you see me wear, I cannot show you the back on air, but if you head on over to towinglife.ca/shop, it'll give you the link directly to our online store. All the designs are there, and you will see what the back of the shirt actually says. And you can order yourself one. It is tow operator on the front, and only because a certain title is not a proper job title on the back. All merchandise sales go to help the show continue to grow. We've got the porn star shirt, the eat, sleep, tow, repeat. We've got all kinds of stuff, constantly adding more and more and more. I've deleted some of the old garbage. My first designs, they were no good. They were ugly.
I got rid of that spelling mistake.
Got rid of the spelling mistake. I don't know if I think I re-uploaded it. I can't remember. But constantly working on, I try to once a week bring out a new line onto the merchandise store. God knows towers love clothing. Christmas is coming, guys. Head over to towinglife.ca/shop and be sure to get some merchandise. If you have a tower in your family, if you're not the tower and for whatever reason you listen, to try and understand what your tower partner goes through, they will love any of the shirts or mugs or hoodies, or we've added the metal, like I don't want to say the brand name, but like a thermos, portable coffee cup, whatever you want to call it. We've got everything. We've been including it. My wife has even designed a couple for the wives. So if your wife is big on the towing industry, head on over there, check it out, what we've got. We've also got on the Towing Life site, you will find the BakPul Hitches Canada. We've worked hard over the year to put together this deal after what a crazy start to this deal came to with BakPul. This podcast is once again sponsored by BakPul Hitches, and we are the official Canadian vendor for the BakPul. So if you've never looked at the BakPul before, check it out on the website, towinglife.ca/BakPul. You will find all the information that you need on it. where to buy it, how to order it, all that kind of stuff. We ship anywhere in Canada. We've shipped all the way up to the Northwest Territories into Yellowknife. Anywhere that they need to go, we will get it to you. We will save the hassle of the border and everything else. So be sure to check that out. And big news. Gee, this has been a big one.
Big news. I like big news.
G has come up with one of the greatest ideas, and I don't think you will ever hear me say that on live air again.
Yeah, I'm glad that's recorded.
He's going to save that, and he will use that to put himself to sleep at night, giving himself a little pat on the shoulder.
Yeah.
The recovery of the month. So, for those of you that are curious, what is the recovery of the month? Every month, starting in January, we will be doing a recovery of the month. We want your submissions. Send them in. You can visit towinglife.ca/recovery, single, not plural, recovery. And you can submit your photos and your story with one of your best recoveries. It doesn't matter if you're in Canada. It doesn't matter if you're in the States. I know we say we're Canada's #1 towing podcast. This is for everyone. What comes in it for you? Every month, the last episode of the month, we will vote and we will pick a recovery.
Mm-hmm.
That recovery will be featured on an episode of the Towing Life podcast. We'll talk about it. We'll show the pictures. We will, we'll have a good time with it. We'll give a breakdown, maybe some input on it. Maybe if we think we would have done something different, whatever it is, it's your chance to get our opinions on your recoveries. Then we will take those 12 winners throughout the month and we will put them into a Towing Life calendar, which will go for sale at the end of 2023 for the year 2024. And it'll have your pictures. It'll have a little blurb who submitted it. It'll be a nice calendar you can buy. You can show it to your bosses. Hopefully you got their permission before sending us those photos. And it'll be a great calendar. We'll put it together at the end of 2023 and you'll be able to find them online through our website. So we want your submissions. You can start submitting as of now. The post went out on Facebook last Friday. You will start to see them. Head on over to towinglife.ca/recovery, fill out the form, submit your stories, and at the end of each month, don't worry. If you don't see it, if you submit in December or January and you don't see it in January, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be in there. Every month we will continue. We will have a rating of the recoveries, and the top of the list every month will be picked out to go towards the calendar. So don't miss out on that. You will also receive for you're taking your time submitting and us appreciating the content that you give us. We will send you out a $50 Canadian Amazon gift card that you can spend online.
You should have led with that.
I probably should have led with that. I've lost.
Hey guys, you can win a $50 Canadian Amazon gift card if you send us your recovery photos and description of that to the link down there, www.towinglife.ca/recovery. There, if you win, you can win a $50 gift card.
And G will even buy you a calendar when we make the calendar into 2024 and send you one personally. He will hand deliver it.
I will not hand deliver it, but we can make sure you get a calendar.
We will actually be sure of that. There's going to be sponsors involved there helping out with all this, guys. I'm excited. Recovery of the month coming 2024, 2023 for the calendar for 2024. Submit now, www.towinglife.ca/recovery.
And make sure to give us enough details about it, but don't write us a novel. Because you got to remember, the people that are going to be reviewing this to select the winner is us.
We have very short attention spans.
We have short English is hard, so using big words might not be great.
You get points with G if you don't use any words more than 2 syllables in describing your experience with that recovery.
2 syllables, 3 syllables, 4 syllables, you're getting on some pretty rocky water.
You're starting to lose some points. So between ourselves and producer Sarah, who couldn't make it here today, it'll definitely be a good time.
We scared her away with the last episode.
I know. She probably just listened to it and went, I'm not going back there. These guys are out of control. So let's get into, G, what do you say we get into a listener comment, suggestion, all that good stuff?
Okay. I
What do
think
you
we got a couple
let's start
on
off
the
with
block.
A couple. No, we're only doing one on the block.
One on the block? Okay.
One on the block. So this was received, and if you haven't already, you can head over to and everything's on the website. That's why I stopped telling all the air stuff. Just go to the website.
Yep.
Hello, my name is Curtis. I live in northeastern Wisconsin. Gee, on a map, could you point out Wisconsin?
Nope. Unless it already has the name on the map.
Unless the map says the state name. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I've been in the industry 5 years roughly, and just like you guys, I left the industry for a year or so, and I ended up back in it. So did you ever actually take a break from the industry?
Yeah, I took a break for a couple months, and then I took a break over the course of a winter.
Okay, you took a winter off. Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so Curtis, we absolutely feel you with that. My question for both of you: would you be for or against a worldwide tow unification? For example, the automobile industry has the UAW. If it helped set guidelines on how tow trucks have to operate, for lack of better wording. But on the flip side, in my opinion, I don't think a union would work. Was thinking of STOW, standardized towing operations worldwide. It would set standards for every tow company to abide by. Just my 2 cents. P.S. Love the show. Would love to be a guest one day. I run wreckers, flatbed, heavy wreckers, and heavy flatbeds. I'll post pictures on Facebook. Glenn's Towing, Green Bay, Wisconsin. So, Curtis, first of all, thank you for listening. Thank you for enjoying the show. And thank you for taking the time to send in your comment. I would like to address it. No.
Yes.
That's it.
And
I'm going. No. I like your ambition, Curtis, with the worldwide, but we have a hard time getting operators in different states and different provinces to join an association that represents or helps speak for, I shouldn't say fully represents, but helps speak for that specific province and the problems that they face. When you try to expand that to go worldwide, it starts to become a little clustered and, even national, right? We have seen national associations in towing fail or not be able to get off the ground or have a harder time. I think towing is, although we face a lot of the same problems across the country, across the continent, as we're seeing in our American brothers and sisters, they're facing the same issues, even over in Europe. But to address those issues in a unification of that sense is tough. Now, what you're talking about is a union and not an association, where a union is developed for the workers. I'm not a fan of unions, never have been. Now, I will also prelude that by saying I am not overly educated in unions. I have never been a part of a union. I believe unions were created with a great purpose, just like a lot of things, but have gone to shit. I'll be straight out honest with it. I'll have a Teamster call me up and yell at me for that one, but unions have gone to shit. They become about the union's gains and not so much about the worker. I mean, you can sit there and yell that you love the workers, but at the end of the day, I'm not a big fan. Personally, not a fan. G, are you a fan of unions?
Yes and no.
Okay, exactly. I think there's advantages, and the towing industry, in my personal opinion, is a spot that could probably benefit from a union in sense. Can't believe I'm saying that out loud. Just because we are seeing the crazy hours, the everything, like there's, you know what I mean? There's things that could probably be addressed in our industry that wouldn't be accepted in other places, right?
I
Long
think,
hours.
to be honest with you, the more the industry is changing and the more regulations we're getting opposed on us, even in Ontario, but across at least Canada, the more that our industry becomes more of a standardized job with more standardized hours, I feel like the union might be a better question and maybe a better path to go down. But as of right now,
Okay.
well,
What do you mean
if
by
it
that?
ever
'Cause if the
does come down to like
regulations,
an hour of operations, right? To where you've got all your shift work, right? So now you're going to have more employees to cover the same miles on highway and everything like that. A union might be more beneficial for the drivers, right? Because now there's more of you that are all in line with each other, right? There's more of you out there doing the same jobs. There isn't that gap of where, let's say, one company's got 2 drivers and one company's got 100. Well, though that company with 2 drivers isn't physically going to be able to stay in business with these new laws and regulations of hours of operations. Like they won't be able to keep a police contract and anything like that because they just physically won't be able to have the trucks on the road for the extended periods of times. So now you're going to see a lot fewer of the smaller companies, and you're going to get a lot more of the big players in the game, to where you are just pretty much a number for that company head. You're not the lead driver. There's still going to be lead drivers out there, but with the amount of drivers, you're going to have to get together. And if you see something's wrong, you all need to be able to get together and be able to say something like that. And what's the best part about that? If you got a union, at least you got a body head to be the goat.
Okay, see, I'm on the opposite side of this. And why I say that is the more that the government brings in these kind of regulations. Let's start with the government, starts cracking down on scales and different things and inspections on trucks.
Which
The
they
more
are.
companies, which they are, the more companies that are going to be forced to maintain their equipment or face fines and possible repercussions against, whether it be their CBOR or whatever state registration they may have. So companies are being held to a higher standard, which means that drivers aren't being put out in unsafe equipment. Then the hours of service is going to come into play. And what that's going to do is that is going to make sure that these drivers aren't doing 24 hours, 28 hours, and everything like that. It's going to cut back on their hours. It's going to actually benefit the worker in a sense of their personal life, all this kind of stuff. So in my opinion, it's already doing part of the work that the union would set out to do. You were talking about wages, which I understand. It will affect possibly the wages, again, bringing more employees in, different margins, everything like that. Payroll might have to be adjusted.
Yep.
If you're not doing this crazy work, why am I paying you as much? I can see that. But we got to get there first too, right? We've got to get
this is years, decades
now
away.
The auto industry, and I'm it's not that I don't know much about it, but I don't fully have a grasp on how the UAW works. But the automotive industry, when it comes to manufacturing of vehicles, everything like that, a lot of it is very standardized. Yeah. Right? It is factories assembling these vehicles with people. There's a certain standard that has to be met day in, day out.
And one thing towers pride themselves on.
Hold on. I don't think towing applies to that, because our situations aren't. You're assembling the same car over and over and over and over again. You're painting the same car over and over and over again. You are doing this, repetitive tasks the same way in and out. So there is a standard. Towing, there is no standard. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't think there could be a standard. I don't know how many times we have sat down with operators, ownership, management, any of those things. Let's set out a standardized plan for this. Okay, and a week into it, you realize, well, we didn't take into account this and this and this and this. And I know the auto industry probably went through those same growing pains when it came to standardization. But, it's not the same car in the same ditch in the same day, in the same weather conditions, in the same angle, in the same any of that. Or, the same mechanical breakdown. That ball joint this time took out the tie rod and the axle. Last time, it only took out the tie rod. So there's different towing procedures. There's different everything. There's so many different variations that go into it that I'm not sure you could standardize it the way the auto industry has. Sorry for cutting you off. I just want to get that out.
My biggest thing was the one thing that the towing industry and the tow operators pride themselves on so much is that there's nothing really standard about our job. It's something different every day. And that's the reason why I feel like 90% of us still do it. It's a love-hate relationship with this industry. I know we've all been there. And I know even Curtis, you took the time away from the industry just like us. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners have tried to get away from it because the pay could be better, the hours are better, and the grass is greener on the other side. But there's always something that just brings us back because it's fun. It's different. It keeps you thinking. And that's one of the best things about the towing industry, but that's also its biggest weakness when trying to unionize and come together as a whole. Because as it sits right now, you've got guys that have $1 million operations or a couple $1 million operations, and then you've got companies with 5 to 6 trucks, and then you've got other guys that it's just a 1-man, 2-guy band, right? There's just so much variation, and the guys that got 1 or 2 trucks on the road can still do pretty much the same job, pretty much, as the $1 million operation. Can they do it as efficiently? Probably not. But they're still out there hooking cars. Are they doing it as safely? Who knows? But they're still doing the job at the end of the day. They're still meeting standards for their
Well,
clients.
but that's what I think that's what Curtis's point is on the point of the union is that whenever you're talking about these $1 million, companies or these one or two truck operations, the thing is that all comes down to the ownership. Don't forget, this union isn't about the ownership. That's what associations are for. Associations, and we have had this fight here in Ontario, and the PTAO has been nothing but wonderful to us since the existence of our show. But at the same time, they've never been inclusive when it comes to the association to the employees. It's always been the owners.
Yeah.
And I think what Curtis's point here is that unless I'm an owner, I don't have a say in anything. Where the option of a union opens that up, where, just because I'm not an owner doesn't mean I don't have an opinion. Doesn't mean that I don't have good information towards the day in, day out of this industry. I encourage you to share this information with your management, with your ownership, to help them build, because depending on how your company is structured, there can be a manager that, or an owner that doesn't do the day-to-day, doesn't come from the background of towing. These guys are normally smart business people. It doesn't mean they're towers. And so, the union from the employee side of things goes, well, I'm getting paid, to work these crazy hours. I wish somebody kind of had my back and I had a voice on, somebody to fight for. Now, the union forces higher wages, does a lot of good, comes with a cost as well, but would then in turn pass the cost on to the insurance companies, onto the roadsides. It could have a positive effect in ways. I'm just a big believer that I think it would have more of a negative effect than it would a positive effect. That is just me being, anti-union.
Yeah. Well, I think when a lot of unions started, there was a lot more negatives than there were positives. And that's growing pains, right? A union comes into effect. All the workers that want to be a part of the union have to start paying their union dues. Those, just like you said, the cost has to get passed down to roadsides and customers and everything like that. So everyone's going to see this price increase. And right off the hop, there's going to be really no change. It's a gradual thing. It's not going to happen tomorrow.
Unions were brought in because of gross neglect within workplaces, right? They were brought in for better working conditions, better, hours, higher wages. When things, in my opinion, were to the point where, you could argue slavery for the amount you were getting paid. Now, right? The way that the world has opened up, it used to be that unions were brought in because these companies, the people didn't know any better. Right? They were being treated like absolute garbage. And one or two would stand up and say, there has to be a better way. And unions would be born. But now with the access to information that is out there, employers are required to pay a higher wage because drivers know what the guy's making down the street. I'm not saying the grass is greener, but you know what I mean? Like, we see everything that's going on within the industry and what other places are offering. So you have to take that time to really, you can't have the gross neglect. And if you are in a situation where your company has some sort of gross neglect like that, you might want to consider that it's time to go, because it's out there, it's available. You can see what's tolerated, what's accepted, what's not accepted. That is all real things. So I encourage you to kind of take a look around. If I feel like if you're mentioning it, and I don't know if Curtis meant the idea of union for standardized methods in which towing procedures should happen, or if he meant union in a way for drivers to make more money, and you know what I mean, do all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure which way you meant it, Curtis. Either way, get back to us. We might not do about it on the show. We'll definitely talk about it off mic. And that's that about kind of sums it up. You're not gonna. There's no winning or losing. That's the thing about this, is there's no, this is right, this is wrong. It depends on where you stand. It depends on where you come from. I'm a big no on that one.
Would it have anything to do with safety?
Yes, workplace safety can be a big one. Well, again, working conditions.
Well, it even just comes down to where you're standing on a road could be safe or unsafe, really. Like, it doesn't even.
I want to see the union rep come out and tell me where I should be standing on the road. The guy who has never driven a tow truck in his life. who's just there to put union dues in his pocket and pay his salary.
Well, that's the issue, right? Is we're
That's
so
what the ministry is
unstandardized.
for, Christ, the safety ministry. You can't do that. It's unsafe for you to be on the side of the highway. You should have a lane closure. Shut up. You guys gonna pay for the lane closure every time I need one to hook a car? No, exactly.
It's always funny when you watch like Heavy Rescue 401 and there's like a 1-ton operator getting out of his truck with a hard hat on. It's like, okay.
We'll be showing up at a wreck. Yeah, our light duty guys show up to wrecks and have the rescue helmets.
Yeah, I guess.
They're showing to a heavy wreck. If you're at a heavy wreck, absolutely. I mean, if this guy's going to change a tire with his hard hat on, I mean, I'd check what color the crayons are.
I mean, unless you're working above your head, I don't really think you would need a hard hat, or if there isn't work being done above your head.
On heavy recoveries, though, everything's above your head. The booms are above your head. The cable's coming down. But yeah, no. Like I said, if you're changing a tire on the side of the highway and you've got a hard hat on, check what color the crayons are in the box. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But it really does come down to where you're standing. I know a gentleman named Billy could definitely attest to where you're standing.
Poor Billy.
Poor Billy.
Poor Billy. So this is a post that you guys will have seen. This video has gone around a bit on social media. I don't know how popular it's become. This gentleman named Billy. Billy, I mean, you got balls of steel, in my opinion, and you are, as much as we're going to talk about the stereotypes of tow operators we had before, you are, in my opinion, an operator's operator. You've got tough as nails written all over you. So I'll play the video. We've got no audio on it. We purposely muted the audio. But Billy is uprighting a log trailer.
If you're watching on the video side, Billy is the operator on the left-hand side of the screen right now, running the controls.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys can't see my mouse over him, but he's over to the left side of your screen. So Billy is uprighting this logging trailer. Oh, I got rid of it. There we go. Billy is uprighting the logging trailer. And when this thing settles down, now one thing that every time that we've done recoveries like this, Billy is doing a one truck, pulling it over, and the vehicle is actually slamming to the ground. Now, this has been a practice that we are seeing less and less in the industry because of safety.
Lines. Yeah.
Well, you're running not more. A catch line. This thing has no catch lines. So when this logging trailer, now Billy is the guy on the shoulder here, and Billy, I mean, no disrespect by sharing this video. When this logging trailer slams back down with truck, the problem is there is a log that is lodged up at the front of it, and it launches
butt first
absolutely just almost impales Billy.
Yeah,
knocks him straight down. And
if it was the other way around, so I'm not sure if you know anything about forestry or anything, but the butt of the piece of wood is the fatter end. If it was around the other way, so the spike end, it probably would have went right into him.
Oh, I don't doubt it. And I mean, that looks painful.
Broken ribs, punctured lung, something.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I might take the day off after that one.
I'd be taking more than a day off.
But just even the way he folds, like you could tell the force of that, and he didn't have a chance.
It's got to be like an 8-9 foot log.
Oh yeah, it's a and coming at him with some force.
Oh yeah,
and I love Billy's comment. Our post along with the video goes, so I took a little hit yesterday at work. I have too many things to do, and the hospital bills is racking up. So I'm checking myself out. I'm fine, no broken bones or anything. Now, I'm hoping that is actually Billy writing that, not some guy making a joke of the video.
Yeah.
Which I thought about after.
No, does a rib count as a bone in Billy's eyes?
Well, I think so. I mean, a rib is a bone. I don't care if Billy thinks it is or not. It's a goddamn bone. So, like, it's like, I don't care what he thinks. So, no, that was quite the hit for sure. I'm hoping he's all right. It is the importance of why companies have pushed more and more towards catch line recoveries, controlled rollovers, all that kind of stuff, because things like that can go south real fast. Yeah. I'm not saying what you did was wrong. You did the best you could in the situation with the equipment you had. But
I bet you wish you were standing 5 feet to the left.
5 feet to the left, 5 feet to the right, anywhere. But the face in which that log was coming whipping at your head.
Oh, yeah, You're at that moment, it hits the ground, and you're like, yeah. You get that moment of like peakness of the job. It hits the wheels, and then all of a sudden you get the wind knocked out of you, and you're down on your back. Just the roller coaster Billy went on.
Roller coaster of emotions. I mean, I'm pretty sure he got more than the wind knocked out of him. I'm pretty sure Billy got the soul knocked out of him.
Yeah, I wonder if he's a ginger.
If all the souls that he's taken over left his body all at once.
Yeah,
I mean, it was definitely a rough one. So for Billy to walk away from that or crawl away, I'm sure at that point and be all right. That's definitely one of the uglier hits I've seen in a little while. So good on you, bud. Good on you, Billy.
the fact that Billy went and took one day off of work after a
Well,
hit
we don't
like
know how many days he took off. He said the hospital bills are piling up. We don't know how many
he
days
said he
actually
took a
off.
little hit yesterday at work. I've got too many things to do.
Oh.
Hospital bills are racking up. So a day, call it 2 days to be on the safe side.
Fair enough.
Takes 2 days off for getting hit in the chest by a flying log.
You have taken more off for the common cold.
Yes, I have. Well, it's not necessarily the common cold, but like that's a stereotypical thing in our industry, right? Is people taking time off because they're sick. And you don't really see that in too many other workplaces. I know like the girlfriend, she
You
works in
don't
a
see
school
what? Sorry, you don't see what?
going to work sick. The
Okay.
girlfriend, she works in a school, she's a teacher. And if you have a fever, you can't go to work. They physically will not let you go to work. If you threw up the night before, they physically will not let you go to work. And
That's what
it's
you tell
just,
them.
I know we're completely different from teachers, and I get that. But I've also pushed myself. I was like, oh, even though I'm sick, I'll sweat it out. I'll sweat it out.
Mhm.
But I've also found when I'm sick, my reaction time goes down. I don't have the same upper body strength. I don't have the same stamina. And I might just not be able to do as good of a job, but I might also not be able to do my job as safely, right? Because I'm going to be groggy.
Bullshit. Bull. Here we go. This is why I didn't want this topic on the show. Bullshit. You can't
But
do your job
no,
as
it's
safely
true.
because you've
It's
got a head cold. Suck it up.
It is true though, okay? So it is an impairment. You are
It is an impairment.
you are.
This guy over here got a DUI for having a head cold.
I'm not just saying a head cold, right? I'm saying any sort of like something that is infecting your ability to do your job as to what you normally would when you're 100%, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't go to work if you're at 80 or 90%. I'm saying like you got a fever and you're like down in the dumps and you're physically
Okay.
just can't do it, right?
Okay. At what percentage do you say that it becomes unsafe to the productivity of your job?
Well, it really
Because you
depends
said
on the
I'm not
person,
saying if you're
on the
80 or
individual.
90. So what percentage?
Well, it's on the person of the individual, right? It's their call to make.
No. What? Okay, for you, what percentage?
I don't know, 60, 70.
So if you're at 60, 70%,
Yeah.
you don't feel that you are performing, you can perform your duties safely and effectively.
Probably not, no.
Come on. Join a union. I mean, we're not. I can understand why your wife, girlfriend, whatever. It's girlfriend. I don't want to get you in any trouble. Working in a school with children, and I mean, children are the ones that normally make you sick. So it's
Hence
like
why
if
I'm
we're gonna
always
bring
sick.
up children yeah, 100%. Oh, I go through the same struggle. My wife works at a daycare. I get it.
Yeah.
It's tough. I get about one out of every 4 sicknesses she brings home.
Yeah.
All right, I've got a pretty good immune system. I've been lucky in that way. But I got a head cold. I got the flu. I got a little bit of a fever. I got whatever. I mean, like, I don't know if you can get up and record this show, you can go to work, right? If you can't, I mean, I've got to be pretty beaten up to not go to work. Have I had sick days? Sure. I don't remember the last one I had. I think it's when I had COVID at the beginning and I got it bad. I mean, like that one was, well, I'm talking like I'm at 0 to 10%.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many days I've earned at 50, 40, 60%, right? Because of sickness and whatever. And it's just, that's just it. I mean, when you start taking days off, it's not like you're in an office with all kinds of people around where you're going to contagion. You're going to get the 90-year-old tire change lady that might get a little cold. You can stay away from them. You're outside. You can do the service calls. You can wear a mask. You can do all these kind of things. You're in close quarters for short contact. I don't think it's justification. Yes. Are you going to get razzed in the industry if you are constantly taking sick days? Yes. Do I think it is right? Not necessarily. Is it frowned upon to be sick? Yes. But that's because if you want, I feel like cops show up to work sick. You want to be treated like these first responders? Paramedics, different story. Firefighters. You don't think firefighters have to tough it through things when they're feeling 60, 70%? Think they're taking days off? You want to be treated like these first responders that so many people claim they want to be? I mean, 60, 70% is a joke. 60, 70% is a bad night's sleep. And you're working through it. But I don't know. I'm not saying that there isn't justifiable sick. There's everyone gets sick. It happens. Right? A day, cool. A day every 3-4 months. Am I gonna frown on it? Not really. It happens. But it's guys that my nose is running. Oh, suck it up and get back to work. Like, come on. I'm all for accepting everything and trying to better the industry. Right. And being accepted like other industries and having respect and, hey, maybe paid sick days and all that kind of stuff. I'm all for that. Yeah. But at the same time, like, suck it up and get back to work. I don't care how big that makes me sound. It's a reality. If you're in an industry that is tough, I'm at 60% whenever I've worked an 18-hour day because we've had a recovery. I mean, I'm not able to successfully or effectively do my job. No. If you can't run as an operator under 60%, I got bad news coming for you. You're probably going to be gone in the next couple years.
So I'll give it to you like this. All right.
Okay.
If you've used your example as the head cold, right? You got a head cold, right?
Yeah.
So a fever, headache, whatever it may be, you stand up too fast and you get dizzy, right? That happens, right?
Don't stand up fast. Problem solved.
You're working on the side of the road.
It hurts when I lift my arm like this. Then stop lifting your arm like that.
Okay, but you're working on the side of the road. You peek out from doing your safety change and you see a car coming right at you. Well,
it's over.
But would have been over if you were, not sick and you could actually get up and.
Oh my God, you were playing. Okay, so first we got to play that. I know that it is a dangerous job being on the side of the highway and people get hit. We've met with James Brush. We've talked. We've seen the videos and everything out there. Let's get deep. You want to pull the statistics on how many of those people were sick and could have avoided the collision if they weren't sick? Like, come on. You're pulling a rare enough event. It happens way more than it should. Mm-hmm. But something like that, and then adding another 1% of those situations into it and going, this is unsafe. In my opinion, that's you looking for an excuse out of work. Go to work. Get your job done. Take off. I'm sure you got time off coming. I don't know what your schedule is like. You're 2 days a month. If you're sick for them, go to work. But no, that's a cop out and a half. Gee, come on. Get that. The show deserves better than that kind of bull.
But it is. I'm not going to fight you to the death on this, but you gotta, when you see one of your operators that does come in sick, you can see their effectiveness go down, right? 100%, right? So if their effectiveness goes down, their safety also goes down because it all goes down together.
No, it doesn't. Your effectiveness is not fully related to your safety. And to say that one goes down forces the other one to go down and shit. Now, as a manager, if you see your staff that is struggling and this guy shows up and he's trying to work it out, what am I going to do? I'm going to take it easy on him. I'm going to try and give him the easier calls. I'm going to try because this guy didn't say, I feel like 60%. I'm going to stay home because I have a head cold and a runny nose. No, this guy is willing to come in, support the company, support us, everything about. I'm going to do what I can to help the guy out because he showed up to work. I respect you more for showing up to work and worst case, me having to send you home. Because you know what? I'm a big believer in that. The call it, unless you're throwing up, you're you know what I mean? Like you can't physically get up or stay off the bathroom or out of the bathroom long enough. And this is from a guy who has stomach issues. Will tell you that anytime I eat anything, there's stomach issues and there's bathroom visits. You come in, all right, you look like shit. All right, you're a little baggy. I'll try and take it easy on you. I'll try and help you out. If you really can't do it, we'll send you home. But to say that, I've got a head cold and my productivity is going to be effective and I'm not going to be safe on the road. These are people like, I got a headache. I don't think it's safe to drive. I have a headache. Oh my God, that drove me nuts. Take some Advil, take a little hour nap, call me in a couple hours, see how you feel, and we'll go from there. But just to go, it's not safe for me because I feel congested and a head cold. I don't agree with it. I think it's an easy cop-out, and I think it's a softer generation coming around. And you may be part of that generation.
I very well may be, but I think we're talking about different things. You saying you got a head cold with a headache. I work with a headache all the time.
Well, a headache, head colds, sniffles, like migraines. Even migraines, they come and go. Don't get me wrong, migraines happen, but it's so quick. I don't know. I think you can tell the difference between when someone's faking it and when someone's just looking for an out or is legitimately sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at the legitimate sick people as the people that show up, try to put it in, can't get it done, too hard-headed to admit that they shouldn't, and you send them home and on with their way. But you can't use this. I don't even want to talk about the excuse of effectiveness. Effectiveness is one thing. An operator at 60% effectiveness can still be a safe operating operator. They don't. Is there a relation? Maybe not direct one-to-one that at 60% you're only working at 60% of safety. No, you're probably working at 95% safety.
Yeah, it's definitely a topic to get into, and I would hope that
keep going into it. Let's go. I'll take another run of you. What do you got? What else you got? Give me another cop-out bullshit excuse. I'll have at it.
What kind of time are we running?
I don't care.
Our timers are off.
So we'll roll this one in favor of Plain Guy. If you are on Plain Guy's team, you can vote now. Actually, we don't have a poll open, but
we don't.
Head over to towinglife.ca. Find the contact us form. Leave your review and your opinion. What do you think about the sickness? What do you think? Do you work with an employee who seems to just want to take advantage, like Toman G, and go, I'm not feeling good today. I'm not coming in because it's not safe. Or are you a Team Plain Guy? I'm sorry, G. I'm absolutely savaging you right now. I apologize.
Yeah, you make me sound a lot worse than what I actually am.
I know. Even if I didn't win the argument, I'll make it sound like I won the argument. I think I won the argument, but I'll still make it sound like I make sure. I'm gonna make sure. But no, everyone's got their opinions. We want to hear yours. Towinglife.ca. Contact us form. You will see it there. I think that about wraps it up for today because we have got to be pushing close on time. We've got to be getting there. By the time we remind you guys all once again to head on over to the towinglife.ca, find the recovery of the month contest. Be sure to start entering now. towinglife.ca/recovery. BakPul Canada. If you haven't checked out the BakPul before, be sure to check it out. We do have them in stock in Canada. They are ready to ship. We will ship coast to coast and every island in between. Visit towinglife.ca/BakPul. Never be overweight again with the BakPul. And the merchandise. New merchandise coming every week. You can head over to the store, find it. G's ordered some stuff. I've ordered some stuff. I've ordered some stuff for my dispatcher. I've got things coming in. It's right around the holiday season. Find something for you, the operator. Find something for your wife of an operator or husband of an operator. Find yourself anything you want. Any suggestions you have for merchandise, we have seen them already. I've seen one come in just today. I'm going to work on getting something put out for you guys. So continue to check that out. Be sure on YouTube, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the comment, hit the follow, and be sure to keep an eye out as we see you again next week as we get closer to the holidays. Hopefully producer Sarah will be back. We have some games coming up. We have some everything. On that note, G, what do you say?
I say that was a pretty good episode, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Take care.
Toodles.
Take care.
Toodles.
God, we can't get this timing right. We try so hard. One more time. Take care.
Toodles. Oh,
Oh my god, it is never a dull moment.
I thought
G.
you said, "We'll see you next time." Was going to be your take care this time.
And then
Yeah.
I know. I tried to get it in before you said your toodles.
Toodles.
You okay? You have the argument with me about the sickness bullshit, and then to say toodles. I am trying everything in my power to not call you names.
That's just the word. It's different, right?
It's different. It affects
No one ever
the
says it.
YouTube algorithm. No one does say it. Maybe there's a reason nobody says it.
Maybe there's a reason why I say it is because people was like, that guy just said fucking toodles.
I just said fucking toodles. I am making that into a shirt.
Fucking doodles.
Fucking toodles.
Fucking doodles, bud.